Hey there, welcome to this beautiful episode of Reality Podcast. I am your host, Olorun Juwon Folashade, and I am really happy and I'm glad to be doing this again because I have been off this space for a really long time, and I apologize for that. I am back fully and would be giving you all back-to-back content. Like, I am so ready and hyped for this new season of this episode. So how have I been? Let me give you guys brief gist. I have been doing really good. If you can remember, I know it's kind of weird, but I want you guys to do a quick flashback to 2 episodes ago, or I think my last episode. I commented on the weather, on how much I love the weather. I take back everything I said. How I said this is my best weather, I take it back. I take everything back. This weather is not even favoring me at all. I've been having series of illnesses upon illnesses because of the cold and the rest. But I am doing fine. Maybe you guys are doing fine now. I mean, the Lord, by His stripes, I am healed. So I am doing very well. And I have really missed doing this. So let's get right into what I have for today's episode. So, as usual, I love saying stories, especially stories of myself. So let me start with this story of myself. Okay, so 4 years ago, that was 2018, I had a plan. If you are a follower of Reality Podcast, you would realize that all my stories, I always have a plan. So yes, again, I had a plan 2018. I had an ambition for myself in the year 2018. And I was so hyped for it. I was so positive. I was ready to give my all, my best, in my plan. And what I was expecting came. It came, but not what I wanted, actually. But let me rephrase that. I was expecting something, but I got something else instead. Do you get? So I was very disappointed. I was so disappointed. But you know what? We move. And I kept my faith. I kept pushing. And 2019, I tried again, and I still got something else, and not what I wanted. It was crazy. I felt so bad. I cried a lot. It was a very dark space for me. It was a very dark phase of my life at the time, and because of that, I stopped planning. Yes, I know it's crazy and weird. Thinking of the decisions I made then, I'm like, Shade, why? Life happens. But anyways, I stopped planning. I mean, I planned for little things. I planned for what I'll wear to church on Sunday. I planned for little things, but big things for my life, big things, I don't plan anymore. I didn't plan anymore. Whenever I'll start. Anyhow the day takes me, anyhow the month takes me, was how I was living my life up until last year. So I always say to people who I'm having a serious conversation with, 2021 was a very defining year for me. It was a year that I saw things more differently than I used to. Because of disappointments, it changed my perception of life, my perception of things generally. But 2021 was a defining year for me, like I said earlier, and it helped me reshape how I saw things. And that was when I got to understand the phrase, when life happens. Life happened to me at that time, but I didn't understand. I didn't know that more things happen. So some things just happen and alter all your plans, alter all your dreams, alter everything, and you're like, oh my God, what is this? and it will be like a very huge detour from where you want to go, from where you're headed to. And I don't want to sound like aspire to perspire people, but I mean that's what we're talking about today. When life happens, which would always happen at one point or the other in your life, you would be disappointed. It may be because of your own mistakes, maybe because life will shall happen, life wants to happen, life has to happen. When this happens, what do you do next? Do you break down like I did and stop planning and like put your major life on a halt? That's like the worst thing to do. Because before I even continue, let me give this brief testimony. Finally, I said last year I changed my perception on things and I started planning again. And what I wanted, I got what I wanted, how I wanted, the way I wanted, even better than I wanted. Exactly. I had to come in terms with the fact that life will happen, but you have to raise your head up. You have to stand up again and keep pushing. You have to keep pushing. There is this. Something is telling me in my mind to say adage, but I know it's not an adage. There's this slang people use now: who give up, fuck up. And this is so true. You can't give up. You cannot give up. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep trying. No matter what happens, no matter the detour you may meet. So what do you do when life happens to you? Firstly, do not enter the should I say a trap of self-pity. That's like the worst trap. Self-pity is so bad. You would remain there, you would remain on the ground. You are not coming out because you're so sorry for yourself. You're enjoying the sympathy from people. Oh, so sorry, Shade. Don't worry, very soon. Don't worry. You're so used to it. You're already finding comfort in self-pity and in sympathy that you don't even know how to stand up again. So you have to make sure you don't get in the trap, in the web of self-pity. When life happens, what next? You stick with it. You keep pushing, like I said. You stick with your plan. You don't give up. You stick with your plan. Be resilient. Never give up. Like everything, sum total, summary. Never ever give up. Life would happen. Life would always happen. You would not want it to happen this way. It will happen. You would be like, am I not praying enough? Am I not being good enough? Am I not putting in enough work? Trust me, you're doing all you could be doing according to the books. But when life will happen, it will happen regardless of who you are, regardless of what you've been doing in the past. But it's up to us to understand the fact that things would happen, but you cannot, because of those things that are happening, change your plans for yourself or become nonchalant about what you want for yourself. I became all these things I'm telling you now, but I know better now, and I don't want any other person to make the same mistakes that I made, and that's why I'm making this very short episode, just to tell you life would happen, but when it does happen, never give up. And that's all for today's episode. I know it's really short. This is like welcome back, and it's like a welcome back episode, just giving you small. Then next episode, it will be way longer, and expect so much from me. Thank you very much for listening to this episode, and I'd like you to subscribe, like, follow, do everything that is doable wherever you're listening to this episode from, whichever platform you're listening. And I also would like you to comment, leave a message. I want to know how your own life happened. I just gave my own story now. I want to hear your own story on how life happened to you. If you're still in self-pity, if you've come out of it, just your journey, really. Thank you for listening.